here, just doing a quick introduction for what you're about to hear. Obviously, you're going into a Tom's Chatroom presentation featuring two fan fiction writers, Taker's Soul Girl and Randy's Country Girl. Now, initially it was going to be a one-on-one interview, so the questions are very centric towards Taker's Soul Girl. But at the last minute, I was told that I was able to have both, so we did a conference call. Obviously, the quality doing a conference call is a little ropey to say the least, but it's the best I was able to do. So obviously, you guys are getting that. But this sort of intro is just really to explain what's going on with that. So we're gonna have a musical interlude. The musical interlude, obviously powered by Kevin MacLeod from Incompetech.com, and we're going to use the usual musical interlude, which is, of course, the song Merry Go. And, of course, as you know by now, the song Merry Go by Kevin MacLeod is used under Creative Commons license.
She has an accent.
He's Irish, I can tell.
English.
English? Okay, my bad. Oops.
But, you know...
You think I would know that after hearing Barrett for 2 years talk.
Yeah, the thing is, you know, not all English people sound like Wade Barrett and William Regal.
Yeah.
You know,
Davy Boy Smith sounded different.
He was from our north. He was
Yeah, he had the northern accent.
Yeah, well, sort of. He was from Manchester, wasn't he? Manchester way.
Yeah. England. Yeah.
Whereas
he lost it when he went to Canada.
Whereas Wade Barrett is more.
Hey, we did not take his accent away, girl. What are you talking about?
Well, it's a good thing. It's a good thing.
Yeah.
Whereas,
yeah, just so you know, I'm from Canada and she's from the States.
All right.
Yeah, I'm from Texas.
All right. Yeah.
I'm actually it's so funny because I'm actually like just up the road from where Mark Henry grew up.
Silby.
Yeah.
Silby. Yeah.
About 30 minutes, maybe an hour away from there.
Mark Henry, the man who never actually won World's Strongest Man, but has been using the gimmick longer than anybody ever.
He never actually won the
I don't think he ever won. He entered, didn't he? But he didn't win, I think.
He actually might have won many years ago, but I don't think he's won it recently.
Well, yeah, I mean, because I think they hold it every year, don't they? You know.
Yeah, I don't think he's the most recent World's Strongest Man. I think he won it back in the 90s.
Yeah, they're all Polish now.
Way back in there.
They're all usually Polish blokes who enter the World's Strongest Man, if you've ever watched it.
I've never watched it. I just know a little bit of the history about it. A little, very little.
Right, my recorder's still working. This is good. That means I can just sort of go with it when the time is right. I've got my list of questions just in case I need them.
Cool.
I'm getting a lot of static through on one of the call lines though. A lot of background buzz noise. I'm not sure which one of you it's coming from.
It might be mine because I have my office door open, so it might be my air conditioner.
Yeah, that's better. That's suddenly
that's
gone away.
We're hearing the air conditioner.
What'd you do? Close the door?
Yeah.
I'm just next to a window with a ton of water, so you know I just sort of need it because I know my voice is gonna clam up halfway through, so.
Deanna's in it too.
Yeah.
SummerSlam on the TV.
Well, it's better than, what I usually do.
Because it's just the audio. I'm talking to my mom, sorry.
I'm just gonna do I'm just gonna record the audio and basically slap the audio over the top of a photograph that I'll make. I've got a little background with the title, my face, and I'll literally just stack two pictures on the one side.
Cool.
Whatever I
That
can.
sounds good because we're like, she's camera shy and so am I. So
I don't. I did try that video call idea. Hello, everybody, and welcome to a brand new episode of Tom's Chat Room. Yeah, I know, 2 in 2 days. Whoa. Yeah, but joining me on this one, it's one of those episodes of the chat room that just happens. I'm having a conversation. It's like, shall we do the chat room? Yeah, why not? Yeah, this one I've been trying to make happen for quite a while. Because it's one of those ones where you've got to look at time zones, which time zones make me angry. But yeah, this one I'm doing is I've got two people on the illustrious Skype line, and obviously the Skype line is illustrious because it's awful. And yeah, joining me is two people who write for that website that I initially got people on from. I'm talking, of course, about fanfiction. The place where all the cool people hang out. Yeah, so I'm joined by Taker Soul Girl, and
Hello.
is it Randy, is it John, or is it Steve's country girl nowadays?
it's Randy's country girl nowadays.
Yeah, so welcome to the chat room, girls.
Hello.
So I've ended up getting in one episode of the chat room, I've ended up doubling the number of females I've had on it, from 2 to 4. Yeah. Because
Yay.
because I'm always talking to women and all that. Yeah. But yeah, first thing to sort of throw out. You two can take this question in turn, but explain the first sort of thing. Obviously, explain your name. Sort of. I mean, obviously, the one thing I wanted to get at is first thing. Why Undertaker as a wrestler you attach yourself to? I mean, he's not exactly the common wrestler that young women attach themselves to. You know, Randy Orton, different matter, but Undertaker is a bit of a strange one, really.
Well, it's not that complicated. I've been a fan of him since I was 2.
I mean, obviously, the common thing you get is people attaching themselves to the hot young babyface sort of thing, and Taker's sort of the other end of 50 to what you normally see.
Yep. I don't know. I just had to be different.
Well, it's definitely a character that people can, I suppose, aspire to, because guy can book whenever he wants to turn up for work. That's the dream job, isn't it?
Yeah. I wish I could do that.
Just pick up the phone. Do you know what? I fancy going to work today. Cool. See you next week.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously, sort of same question, but what's with the changing name? I suppose I'm just going to go with Country Girl, because I'm not going to associate a name, because then this thing is timeless.
Well, for the last 9 years, I was a huge John Cena supporter, and just recently, I sort of had a change of mind in the way that I view Cena. Orton is sort of, I don't know, a more grown up idea for me, I guess, but Cena kind of reminds me of what I was holding on to and that I needed to let go
of. And obviously, obviously the two of you are both involved in writing stories for fan fiction. So, what sort of places do you draw the inspiration for that from?
I draw mine from just ideas that I get. Writing just sort of came about like in an really odd situation. I got interested in it, and then actually that's how Tinker Soul Girl and I met was through fan fiction. I read I think I read like one of your stories, and then you kind of bounced off onto mine, and it just kind of we started off just commenting, and then it just kind of blossomed into something.
Mm. Sort of like how how this whole thing came from. I started off commenting, and well, here we are recording.
Yeah,
Yep.
just like
So sort of same question your way, Robin.
Well, mine's kind of sad, but I lost one of my siblings in 2003, and I just kind of needed a way to vent my feelings and vent how I was feeling without actually talking to somebody. So I started writing just to make myself feel better, I guess.
I mean, again, these questions are very much written in your direction. So I'm editing them on the fly a little. But you one of the things I've noticed about your writing in particular is you seem to use a lot of the same characters in the stories, but in different situations. I mean, obviously, Undertaker's usually around the Hartsmith family, which completely makes sense given that you're from Canada. And oddly, Jeff Hardy seems to make a lot of appearances. That why? I mean, why those characters in particular?
Well, Undertaker obviously he's
Yeah.
my favorite, so he's gonna be there, and um, the Hart family. Well, I'm from Canada, so and I'm huge fans of them. And Jeff Hardy, well, he was one of my other friends' favorites, so I would use him sometimes.
Hmm.
And I am kind of a fan of him, but not as much as I used to be.
Remove your central characters from consideration. Do you have a sort of favourite side character in any of your stuff?
Uh,
It'd be too easy if I said favourite character. You said Angel, and I said okay.
yeah, she would be, but if I had to take her out, I don't know. That's kind of hard. Not really.
Hmm.
it's definitely well with Christy being my character, it's um I'm with I'm kind of with Robin on that one. I don't really know if I could pick a side character
Hmm.
because you get Robin will probably agree with me on this. You kind of get attached to your character a little bit,
Yeah.
and you start. We do it some nights. We'll be sitting just talking, and um, we'll start just out of the blue. She'll say, "Oh, I just heard Angel say da 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 da," and I'll just be like, "Oh, well, Christy I just had this total idea," and so it's like I said, it's kind of hard to say that we have a side character.
Well, rather than a side character, I sort of mean like sort of in term a character that sort of pops up from time to time that you like writing. I always get really riled up when that pervert from the school turns up. So
Durham guy. That's actually based on
Oh, yeah.
that's based on somebody that I actually know.
oh right, okay. Does this
He's
person know that they're famous?
Nope.
not and he shouldn't know he's famous because he's a total jerk.
Yeah. But that's another story for another day.
Yeah, we're not gonna get into that.
But,
I'll rant till I won't shut up.
but you know the sort of way I was going. A character that sort of
Yeah.
pops up from time to time who you just like doing things to. Whether it's a character you just like hurting more than anything. I always pop. I know some writers will bring a character up from time to time, just have them get injured or something. The friendship written in between the Angel and Christie characters is that based very much on the relationship between the two of you?
I would say so.
Yeah.
It it we've over the last 4 years we've even though we live in different countries and we're on different same continents I guess. Um, she's become like the one person I can count on.
Mm. Much like the characters themselves, you know.
Yeah.
Because I definitely get the impression from reading it. You know, there is a really deep seated character relationship there. You know.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's very much based on um our friendship in real life, and
we both she we both know what it's like when Taker's feuding with someone, I'm always telling her, well, we don't know what's going to happen with this particular feud, or with me, she'll do the same thing.
Mm.
But she's more level-headed than I am. I'm the overly dramatic one, so.
yeah, usually it's me going, okay, calm
Yeah,
down, we don't
like,
know.
calm down, chill out, it's going to be fine, and I'm
It's
the
gonna be
same way with
okay.
her. And she looks at Taker in a different light than I do. I look at Taker as a father figure, um, and she looks at him from a different point of view. So we both like a lot of the same people, and I think that's also what kind of makes it interesting is that Christine Angel worked with a lot of the same people that we like.
Mm.
Yeah.
And was there any sort of reason behind I suppose reviving people from the dead sort of thing? I mean, you know, quite openly, Bulldog and Owen are still kicking in 2011. You know, that didn't happen. Um, uh,
That was just
That was kind of we felt like she did. I can't take any credit for this. She really, we both love Owen and we both admire Davy, and we felt bad about them dying, and so
mm,
it doesn't. And the Hart family just with it being down to Brett and Jim now, it just doesn't feel right when you can't write a story and you can't put all of them in it.
yeah.
yeah.
I mean, she actually has a story that's totally dedicated to Owen, and it's actually one of my all-time favorites because you people don't get to talk about Owen a lot,
Mm,
and it just feels. I don't know how she feels, but I know whenever we're doing a scene with Owen or Davey, it makes me feel good that we're sort of reminding people that they were big in the company and that they were
yeah.
good people.
Yeah.
And so it's like we try to keep their memories alive.
It's also quite a telling thing that you know, I genuinely think if they were allowed to, I think WWE would put Owen in the Hall of Fame. But I think that's more of a we'd like to, but his estate won't let us sort of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Um,
I'm
do you
not happy about that.
yeah
Yeah.
do you kind of think she should just let them do it sort of thing, you know, let them, because genuinely I think if she said okay you can use Owen, I genuinely think there'd be an Owen Hart DVD like that.
Yeah, she should just.
She should do it like that.
I mean, I can completely see that she's a little bit pissed off that her husband died whilst being involved with the company, but you know, Vicky Guerrero still works there, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, we've talked about that, haven't we, Robin? About how it seems so weird that Vicky's
Yeah.
there, even though Eddie's gone.
Well, from what I remember at the time, Vicky was promised a job for life
That explains it.
because of the whole doesn't want negative publicity, and I kind of think WWE were thinking at the time, we don't want this to be another Owen Hart.
Probably.
Give her a job for life. We don't want this to be another Owen Hart, you know,
Yeah.
because you know, I think WWE quite like the idea that they were able to put Eddie in the Hall of Fame, that they could mention Eddie Guerrero on TV. They had a whole storyline based around Eddie, with a heel claiming that Eddie was in hell. You know.
Yeah, that was Randy Orton that said Eddie was
Yeah.
in hell.
Yeah, it was, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yes, it was.
I actually really wasn't watching around that time, so I don't know anything. I know from stories that Robin told me about Eddie that I didn't start watching until 2005. So
I was bloody devastated when that one happened.
I've seen videos and stuff, and I can tell
I
that
wasn't
people were.
watching either, but it was on the news, and I was just like, what?
Yeah.
I could tell it was breaking a lot of people's hearts when he passed.
If you want, if you have the urge to tear up, look up Rory's Eddie.
Yeah, I've seen that.
The raw straight after, which you know, that was
I've seen the video from that. Yeah.
I've seen that.
Yeah.
I actually went to a SmackDown house show because shortly after WWE were over in my neck of the woods over here, and I went to a SmackDown house show, and WWE definitely used the card subject to change situation then, because quite a few people didn't appear.
They do that a lot, it seems.
Yeah.
It's a very uncommon thing for them to do when they come over here, because they only come over here twice a year.
They only come up here once a year.
And in my case, they're here all the time. So, well, they don't come to Texas, but maybe once in a blue moon. But.
And where are we going next? So here's the fantasy bookings. Here's the fantasy booking segment of the show that I do whenever I get people who like or are involved in wrestling. A dream match that if you were sort of, you know, given the if you were given the book, so to speak, to book a dream match, it can be a WrestleMania match if you want, for your character, I suppose, you know, Undertaker or Orton in your case, dream match that is actually possible, that doesn't involve anybody who is dead, short of the dead man, of course, or people who are retired and wouldn't come back to wrestling. So no, you can't have a buried alive match with Kamala.
Oh, that's a hard one.
And
yeah, it is.
For somebody like Taker, who's been there for
20 plus
years, huh?
I mean, the big one for Taker is Sting.
Yeah, everybody wants that.
Yeah, everybody seems to be wanting that one. Or him or Cena.
Yeah.
But I kind of think Taker would do a hell of a match with Wyatt. And I think we're getting that somewhere down the line. Bray Wyatt.
Oh, God.
That would be interesting, really. That would be really interesting.
I think we might get.
Yeah.
I think we could get that as well, given the Ring of Fire match that we're getting coming up this weekend.
Yeah, that's crazy. That's a crazy one.
I genuinely think we could well get Taker versus Wyatt, possibly in an Undertaker-centric match. Now, that's not going to be a buried alive match. Don't be silly. Undertaker probably couldn't do it. But I imagine that would be the. Do you remember the last Ride match?
Yep.
That he had with, was it Heidenreich, where the idea was get them into the back of a hearse?
He's had one of those with JBL and Mr. Kennedy.
Oh, he did do something with Heidenreich.
He did something
that was
that
was a casket match.
One time.
With Heidenreich.
They could do a casket match. That could also kind of fit the Bray Wyatt gimmick. You know.
Put Bray Wyatt in a casket and put it under the ground. Put it in the ground.
Oh, just set it on fire.
So not Bray Wyatt fans then.
No.
No, he creeps me out a little bit.
He does me too, but it's actually really funny because he is also Husky Harris. He was also the brother of Bo Dallas.
Yeah.
So
that's creepy.
It's very weird that you have a guy like that in the company.
I kind of like it because he's a parody on he's a parody of what a lot of people see from that part of the world, you know. He is very he is very much the parody of the sort of inbreedy kind of preachy guy, who's got a few screws loose, spent a couple of generations too close to the sister, that he's kind of a parody of that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And that's definitely something that I kind of like. I mean, going back onto onto sort of storyline based stuff that we were talking about earlier. What did Wade Barrett ever do to upset you?
Not me. You gotta talk to her about this.
Yeah, I mean,
Okay, in 2010, I was and she will vouch, I was the Cena crazy girl.
Yep.
Yeah.
As I look at it nowadays. I didn't really know much about Wade Barrett at first. I just thought he was just a rookie that was just coming up in the paying his dues. And then what really made me mad was when he attacked Bret Hart and Jerry the King Lawler.
Yeah.
In my opinion, if you attack a Hall of Famer, if you attack anyone that has been a past wrestler or anyone that's come before these new guys, you are despicable in that because you're disrespecting not only them, but everyone else that's come before you. And I can't stand that. It's like, for just an example, when Michael Cole was feuding with Jerry.
Yeah.
I didn't like that at all because he was disrespecting someone that had been there longer than he had and someone that had been there and had more experience in announcing. And it's like, Robin would agree, it's like when they attack Taker. You're attacking anybody who's new and they attack current or past is majorly over the top.
But people attacking Taker is pretty normal because new guys are like, I'm gonna make a name for myself.
Yeah.
And they go after him.
Yeah.
To be honest, though, attacking a legend, that's kind of the mission, the MO, the mission objective.
Yeah.
Bray Wyatt going straight after Kane, trying to make a name for himself by knocking Kane off. And I mean, from if you were to look at it from a young guy's perspective, do I attack the healthy, muscly 6'7"? Do I attack the healthy, muscly 6'6" guy who's can run around the arena in 10 minutes, or do I attack an old man? I think I might attack the old man who's eaten a few too many cheeseburgers in the last 10 years. And you can sort of say that with Lawler because Lawler is known for liking fast food. Even now.
Yeah.
It's just the like I said, the Wade Barrett attacking Bret Hart thing just really made me mad. And because when you have someone like Bret Hart, especially when he has family roots in the company, that really shows me that you don't respect him enough to be like, okay, let's leave him alone.
Yeah.
Because he is he's like, I don't know how you would say it, he's like the one person in the company that you wouldn't want to mess with after, he's retired and everything. And it just seems like Wade Barrett doesn't respect anyone that came before him. He's got a good future ahead, but he doesn't want to respect anyone that came before him. Like, I believe his mentor was Jericho, right, Robin, when he was on NXT?
Yeah, he was under Jericho on NXT, yeah.
And then Justin Gabriel, was under Matt. They were all under current superstars. And Matt and Jericho were both from the Attitude Era, so they kind of, I guess they're not well, Jericho is. I'm not sure what Hardy is, where Hardy stands now, but Chris just kind of took him under his wing, taught him what he needed to know, but yet he backstabbed him and betrayed him, and I'm just like,
attacked him.
Yeah, even though that's common, it's normal in the WWE. To do that to someone that had ties to a legend is just messed up.
I can sort of see both POVs, to be honest. So what would your to go back onto what we were talking about, what would be your dream match for Orton then? If you could give Randy Orton any match, anybody who's currently wrestling, you could take somebody from TNA if you want.
It would have to definitely be Randy Orton in a triple threat match versus AJ Styles and James Storm from
That
TNA.
would be great. That would be brilliant, yeah.
James Storm is, I've told Robin this. I'm not a huge TNA fan, but I do watch a little bit of it. James Storm is Shawn Michaels, Stone Cold Steve Austin, Triple H mixed into one person.
Yeah.
Because he's that hardcore beer drinking, don't mess with me attitude that those three have.
Yeah.
And AJ Styles he's very technical. He's a very technical wrestler. And he's a high flyer when he wants to be. And I just think that would be a brilliant match for Orton because he's got two guys that he's never worked with before. And he's got two guys that basically are not even on different levels as he is. But it would make an interesting match because you would have three different people in the ring who've never looked at each other, never fought, never laid eyes on each other. And it would just be something that would probably hit the roof if it was to ever come true.
I think something that would be cracking, something that would be great if you added to that, you could add Samoa Joe in there.
Yeah, I would say so. We haven't seen anybody like him in the WWE for a long time since Umaga.
Yeah. Even Umaga probably wasn't as technical as Joe is.
No, he was more the kind of dude that let his manager do all the talking.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then Umaga was like, I'll let my manager do all the talking, and then I'm going to come in the ring and run you over.
Exactly. He's basically, Big Langston is that same thing, except he actually can talk and be an idiot.
Biggie Langston also has a bit of charisma. Biggie Langston can actually cut promos a little bit,
Yeah. Robin and I actually were talking about that last night, the difference between these guys that do these long-winded promos and the ones that just get to the point.
Yeah.
I'm definitely more with one of those people who will come out and sort of say, I am everything I say I am, and what I'm going to do right now is kill you, and then bang, start killing.
When I was doing the WrestleMania 27 stuff in Daughter of the Dead Man, it was like I'd type out Triple H's stuff, and then I'd be like, ugh. And then Taker would say his bit, and it'd be really short, and I'd be like, okay.
You type out.
That's
Triple H.
That's it.
Yeah, it would take forever though.
Yeah.
And then Taker would come up and it'd be like, do, okay, done.
Done. I've done in my story, Best Friends, I did John Cena's little mock to The Rock, his little rap, and that's the first time I've ever actually done one of those. And as I was listening to it and I was typing it out, I realized he used a lot of vulgarity, and I had to cut so much of it out because it was a long promo, but it was also a lot of vulgarity. And I was like, as much as I would want to make this authentic Cena and just let the fur fly, I can't do it. I'm not the type of person that can really do vulgar. I can if I need to. If I'm really needing to make a character sound really, really mean, I can do it. Or mad, but I can't do it if I'm doing someone that I can't do it if I'm doing a wrestling character themselves. I can't do it because the promos are too long.
I think I fear this question's going to get either very long or ridiculously short answers. It could go either way. Under any circumstances, would you ever end the streak?
No.
No.
Yep, ridiculously short answers then.
No, definitely not.
Because I kind of think whilst it's amazing that it probably shouldn't end, there are a few things they could do which would be pretty good that I've thought about. I mean,
so many times that it's getting kind of old.
Yeah, well, I sort of look at it as what if John Cena cheated to beat the Undertaker? That would turn him into the biggest heel ever.
He would lose so much respect.
He would lose
Oh
everything he has worked his entire life for if he did that.
Well, I mean, it would turn him into the biggest.
Fans here. I'm talking. He would lose his charities. He would lose probably the respect of everybody that's ever respected the heck out of him. He'd be gone like that. I mean, it would happen.
Then again, it's not it could happen. You never know.
Yeah,
I look at it as sort of, they do sell a lot of CM Punk merchandise, and it would completely change. It would completely give us a whole new side to Cena. I mean, I think he'd make one hell of a sort of the company man kind of bad guy. Down the line that I'm John Cena. I don't lose because John Cena doesn't lose, and sort of really, really smarmy bit of a
have that attitude when he faced Rock.
Well, yeah, sort of, I'm John Cena. John Cena doesn't lose, that sort of, really, really smarmy git kind of thing,
Yeah.
And another thing is that if Cena was to win, he would take, like you said, he'd take it to a whole new level. But also, when he lost a big match, he also takes it to a whole new level.
I was looking more down the line of the referee's not looking. He kicks Taker in the unmentionable area, and then steel chain or something.
I know what Robin would do, but I'm not going to say it.
I'm not saying a word.
Fair enough. I just think it would be very similar to when Hulk Hogan joined the NWO. And basically the fans were throwing their drinks, their food, rubbish, junk.
Yeah.
I believe the line by the commentary was, "Look at all that crap in the ring," and then there's litter too, and it was a line like that, Look at all that crap in the ring, and it was basically Hogan, the white light, everybody loves him, turned into a bad guy overnight, and it basically made everybody hate him. And I think it would sort of work if they did something with Cena, but the only way you could do that with Cena, because if Cena suddenly came out and started being an edgy bad guy, the people who
everybody would kind of be like, "What? What happened?"
Wait a minute, what? How did this happen?
Yeah, I mean, if they did something like that, the kids would be like, boo, Cena! And then, like, the blokes who currently boo him would be like, hey, he's kind of a dick. I like him, and sort of, it would just basically change from all the kids liking him to all the grown-ups liking him. Whereas if he did something to screw over the dead man, the grown-ups would hate him because you don't fuck with the dead man. You don't mess with the dead man, And then all the kids would be like, "Boo, Cena!"
Yeah, he'd lose everything.
It would be the only way to turn him into a bad guy to everyone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, sort of, Have you got a favourite match that your primary wrestler has been involved in? You know, Undertaker in one case and Randy Orton in the other.
Ooh.
If the answer for both of you is Undertaker versus Randy Orton, I'm going to cry.
No, not.
No, we've already done that.
Mine's the two Shawn Michaels ones.
Oh yeah.
Mine has got to be his WrestleMania match, Orton's WrestleMania match at 2000, 25th anniversary with Triple H.
Mm.
Because it's like there's so much history with them.
I in terms of Randy Orton, Backlash 2006 versus Cactus Jack.
Oh, I've seen clips of that one.
Oh, that match.
That
match. Randy Orton as the Intercontinental Champion against Mick Foley in a hardcore match.
I remember.
That's the one where I don't know if I've showed you, but there's a clip of it. He gets tacks all stuck in his back.
It's on his DVD. He gets the thumbtacks caught in his back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Foley goes to light that daggone barbed wire bat on fire, and Bischoff comes out and is like, "You light that on fire, you're fired." And I'm like, "Well, thank God you saved him for once."
If I've met Mick Foley in person, and that man still doesn't walk right.
I'm surprised after.
You know, you can tell he spent all those years landing on his hip doing that elbow drop. You know, you can tell he's taken such a beating because he's a man who's probably approaching 60, who walks worse than my nan in her 80s. You know.
Oh dear.
He's in a real mess, but you know he's had some fantastic matches. You know, he's actually my favorite wrestler, Foley. You know.
That's cool.
I mean, watch of those two Shawn Michaels matches, does one stick out in particular?
The 25th anniversary of WrestleMania sticks out because it's like you think Shawn's gonna win, and then you think Taker's gonna win, and then you think Shawn's gonna win, and then it just and they have such a long history with each other too.
That jump
and another thing that sticks out with that match is that was in Taker's hometown.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was in Houston, and I always thought that match was epical because they were in Taker's hometown. It was a back and forth. You didn't know who was going to win, and then out of the blue, bam! Here comes the big. What was it, Robin? Like 18-0.
Yep. No, 17-0.
17-0.
And that jumping tombstone as well.
Yeah. And then jumping over, and then Taker jumping over the top rope and almost breaking his neck.
Yeah.
Like, oh my god.
That was crazy. I was a little nervous.
Do you have a favorite match not involving your primary characters? So take Undertaker and Randy Orton completely out of consideration. A favorite match that doesn't involve them at all from history?
I don't know. I'd have to think about that.
I think mine would be the Canadian Stampede match, the Hart Foundation versus Stone Cold Steve Austin and Goldust, Ken Shamrock, the League of Doom. Those guys. That match definitely stands out because it was at the time in the WWE when you had the Border Wars, and so it's kind of one of those matches that you can't really forget. It was like an unforgettable match.
Do you have a favorite match concept? You know, be that Elimination Chamber, Hell in a Cell, Casket, Inferno match. You know, a favorite sort of gimmick concept, essentially. For me, stick anybody in the Hell in a Cell, and I will watch it.
I think mine is more or less something that they don't really do much anymore, and that's like Gauntlet. I like the Gauntlet because that's a matter of whoever's in the match, even if it's a champion or if it's the number one contender, you get to see how far they can go before they actually are just like, oh, okay, I just give up.
Yeah.
Hmm.
I mean, with your link to Undertaker, is Hell in a Cell going to rank highly? You've done 2 of them on your in Daughter of the Dead Man, so
Yeah, I like Hell in a Cell. Except Taker's not in that those ones. It's Angel that's in the cell and not him.
is I mean, sort of go back onto that a little bit. Is Angel based on anybody that either you know, or is it you, or someone you know of or have read about or something?
It's kind of me, but kind of like her being shy and her being kind of quiet is me, but like the rest of it came out of my head and.
So sort of like, I mean, minus all of the hell she's had in the past.
Yeah.
How you'd like to be, sort of, almost.
Yeah.
Yeah, you do get that a lot with some characters. So how long have both of you been in the writing game?
I've been in it since 2006, actually.
I've been in it since 2008.
Do you actually want this sort of stuff to go anywhere? I mean, write a book that gets published, or get a job in writing or anything like that?
I do, but I don't know about.
I do. I'd love it for it to happen. It's just it has to be the right. I guess you could say the right time and place for it.
So, I mean, I suppose a little bit. Let's talk about SummerSlam, which SummerSlam is coming at us all this coming Sunday. I'll have this out before Sunday. Damn straight I will. So, the main event we've got.
Yeah.
The main event
Yeah.
the
Sorry.
the main event is going to be Daniel Bryan versus John Cena for the WWE title. How do you see that one going?
That's a good question.
Which
I don't know.
I don't either. That's a match that
Anybody can win it.
Yeah, anybody could win
Either
it.
one
Plus,
of them.
you got the third person in there, so.
Yeah, and then Randy could come out and.
Yeah, that was sort of.
I'll tell everybody.
That was my next question. Which one of them wins it? Okay, is Randy Orton cashing in?
I don't really think he'll cash in this quick. Orton is he's a calculated type of person. He likes to wait it out and fill it out, and when the feeling gets right, that's when he jumps.
Yeah.
So
I don't think he.
When would be the ideal time, in your opinion, to cash it in? Does he cash it in at a pay-per-view, or does he just randomly appear on a Raw or something?
I'd say random, because that's how you never know what he's gonna.
That's how he works. He's just.
Yeah, Randy Orton is not the type of person that goes into the ring and says, "Okay, I'm gonna do this right now. Here and now, I'm doing this." No, it's gonna be like he's gonna wait till either Bryan's down or Cena's down, and they're just completely wiped, and that's when he'll strike.
He's going to pull them to their feet, RKO them through the mat, pin them, and take the belt.
Exactly.
Yeah,
that's exactly
what. Obviously, talking about Money in the Bank, the other Money in the Bank briefcase, which is now made of leather, is held by Damien Sandow. Do you like him as a potential world champion in the future?
No.
Honestly, I can't stand Damien Sandow, but.
What is it about him that you don't like?
He goes around saying, "Oh, I'm smarter than everybody else, and I'm better than you, and I'm."
He tries to play off Triple H's old character.
Yeah, he's so much like Hunter Hearst Helmsley.
Yeah.
He tries to act so much like his old, like that character. And
it doesn't work for him, though.
No, it doesn't. And one thing that doesn't work for him is okay, I gotta ask this question. Who in the name of God does a cartwheel in the middle of the ring like some type of idiot. I ask that question every time I see the daggone guy. I'm like, why do you do a cartwheel? Why? You look so stupid doing it.
I kind of also think it fits into the gimmick a little bit that he wears neon pink shorts. You know, I just that really fits what he's doing. You know,
Kind of makes you wonder though.
that he walks down in this sort of blue and white dressing gown, because that's what I call him. He walks down in this dressing gown and he's like, yeah, do you know what? I'm wearing pink. Yeah.
And
You
yeah,
know.
he holds the mic like a bourbon glass or a scotch glass.
But I definitely think he could well be one to lose when he cashes in.
Yeah.
Yeah, it depends on it depends on really who he's facing though. Or who he takes out.
Mm. So in obviously in the current WWE, do you have favourites? I mean, outside of your obvious favourites.
We have a lot of the same ones.
Yeah.
We both like Natalia, of course.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Um,
Caitlyn.
What do you make of Natalia on Total Divas?
That is one thing that they don't give her the, how do I say it? They don't treat her like they should, because she stated in a few episodes that, you know, they kind of put her at the bottom of the flagpole instead of up where she should be.
I think next week's episode is very Natalia centric.
It is. It really is. It's gonna.
Yeah.
It looks very interesting.
And I've also read that they've filmed some of the wedding.
They did.
So that's going to be on the show as well.
I'm actually looking forward to that. I'm looking forward to seeing her and Tyson. And that's actually another one of ours is Tyson.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Tyson, Christian, God, Robin, who else?
I said Caitlyn, didn't I?
Yeah, you said Caitlyn.
I like Randy Orton, but
yeah, and I like Taker, so we definitely like Christian.
I kind of like John Cena, but that whole Superman thing is getting kind of
majorly old.
Yeah.
And Christian and Edge. Definitely.
Yeah, Edge and Christian.
Edge and Christian.
It's still awful that Edge is out of the business so young.
Yeah.
It kind of. I remember when he announced his retirement. I think Rob and I were talking the night he retired, and I remember this look on his face, like it looked like he was just killing him inside.
It came so out of the blue, and you can just tell it was like, I really don't want to be doing this, but
yeah,
I have to. You know, he's one who can never ever have another match.
No.
Yeah, because if he does, he could seriously hurt himself.
I mean, he said it in his retirement promo. One more bad landing, and
he's done.
And that's me in a chair like Dynamite Kid.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Basically paralyzed.
And I was sad about that because I grew up watching Edge and Christian and the Hardy Boys and all these tag teams, and they're all pretty much gone now.
Edge was sort of at the top of his game when I first started watching, and I loved his character so much because you could love him in one position, and in one position you could hate him.
Yeah.
No matter which way you looked at it, Edge was always the one that was the most entertaining person I've ever seen in the company. And now it's like, and I've told Robin this, Robin and I discuss it sometimes, we talk about how there's only 4 Canadians left in the company now, and that's Christian, Natalia, and, well, 3, Christian, Natalia, and Tyson. And it doesn't seem fair that the states and even countries over in Europe have these people, and Canada only has 3 representatives, and right now they're only down to 2.
I think there's a few more than that. I'm gonna look it up though. I'm actually gonna look that up because I think there's a lot of people who are Canadian who don't play up the fact that they're Canadian. You know,
Yeah.
a lot of people who might be from Canada who don't, play up the whole "I'm Canadian." Here's a Canadian flag on the arse of my trunk sort of thing. A lot of people, some people do are in that situation. I'm actually looking that up. But isn't I mean, I'm sure Sandown might be. I'm sure. I'm trying to get
God,
the.
if he's Canadian, I'm gonna shoot myself.
I'm not sure. I mean, I know there's quite a few in NXT.
Oh God.
I know there's a few in NXT. We're gonna have to cut down to the one-on-one interview that was initially planned. So thanks for joining us in the chat room, Randy's Country Girl.
Not a problem. I'll see you
Bye.
So yeah, we're now back into the we're now back into the one person discussion sort of thing. So let's talk a little. Let's go a little bit more into the into some of the characters, some of the home created characters from the Daughter of the Dead Man series.
Okay.
Let's talk about some of the the I suppose one of the major villains in the story, or at least at the moment anyway. The Shawn Michaels' daughter. Why is where's the inspiration for her as a villain? Is she
She
based?
is based off one of my best friends who knows full well that she's in the story, and she's totally cool with being evil.
So that's more of a loving evil a loving sort of I'm just gonna make you as evil as possible sort of thing.
Yeah, I
Um,
told her, and I'm like, I'm making you as evil as possible, and she just goes, okay, cool, I love being evil.
that's
So I was
actually
just like,
kind of good.
okay.
So is there any inspiration behind the character of I'm trying to remember which one it was. Uh, the the which one was the one who turned good again recently? Was it Jeff Hardy's daughter?
Yeah, it just not really. It just that was just an idea that somebody gave me, and I'm like, well, that's not a bad idea. So I just
On our earlier chat, I think Santino Marella might be Canadian.
oh, that's cool.
Yeah, the Italian thing's a character. I'm pretty sure. Yeah, he's an Italian Canadian professional wrestler.
That's
Yeah.
cool.
So that you see, that's what I mean. Some people are actually from places that aren't sort of wearing the Canadian flag all over their gear. Yeah, Santino Marella's
Yeah.
Canadian.
That's funny.
It's stuff like that. There are people who are actually Canadian who you wouldn't know.
Yeah.
There are others as well, but yeah, I completely see your point. Onto other people who have been involved. The as I like to call it, the terrible two, or Jen's bitches. CM Punk's twins, is it?
Yeah.
What's with their characterization? Is there something behind you don't really like CM Punk, therefore his two daughters are yes men, essentially?
Yeah, pretty much. Well, I didn't like CM Punk. Now he's not so bad. But then again, I don't like Brock Lesnar, so.
So when Daughter of the Dead Man reaches the 2012, is it safe to expect some pretty negative Brock Lesnar stuff coming up? Because that would be a match that would be fantastic for Undertaker. Taker Brock.
Yeah.
Brock might
maybe I don't know yet.
Brock might actually kill him, but
Yeah, that would be. I'd be like, oh my god.
Brock might actually kill him, but that would be one heck of a contest, I think.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe.
So sort of we can sort of come towards a wrap. what kind of future do you see for some of your writing? Are you new stories in the pipeline, or are you just going to continue the ones we've currently got?
Well, there's gonna be a third Daughter of the Dead Man coming pretty
Mm.
soon, I hope. And beyond that, I don't know.
Okay. The next, I suppose, as we start to reach the point where we wrap up here on the chat room, I put it down to you to anything you think that I haven't covered that you want to tell people.
Um, no, I think we're okay.
All right. Now, where can the people listening find you on various different social medias? Twitter, Facebook, obviously your fan fiction profile. I know, christianmingle.com. Wherever, where can people find you to get in touch?
Um,
Or do you want me to put it all in the description?
can you put links in the description? Would be great.
Yep, that's doable. So yeah, guys, links are in the description. Look down. Of course, you can follow me and all the stuff I do by following me on Twitter at TomWilliams1990. I pretty much reply to every tweet I get unless it's from a spam bot. In that case, I usually ridicule, block, and delete it. But yeah, I pretty much reply to every tweet. So feel free to drop me a line on Twitter. Follow me. Drop me a follow on Twitter. If you like what you hear, what you see, there's a subscribe button. Don't be scared. It won't bite hard. So feel free to press that subscribe button. You can also press the thumbs up. If you press the thumbs down, I will kill you. So press the thumbs up, and yeah, be sure to leave a comment to let me know that you liked it, and also use the comment section, because I'll pass any of the comments that come in on. How did my interview guest do? Because prior to the show, I believe it's safe to say she was shitting it. So she was really nervous to do this, and I think she did a fine job. So you guys who are listening, make sure you use the comment section to tell me that you agree with me. Because if you disagree, I will kill you. No, no, just sort of use the comment section to let me know what you thought of the show and whether you think a follow up would be necessary. Yeah. So thank you guys for for spending your time to watch this. And thank you for joining me in the chat room, Robin.
Thank you.
This has been Tom's chat room, and you are quite welcome.